Sharp Tongue Podcast. Beep, 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 beep. You're listening to the Sharp Tongue Podcast. I'm your host, Jessimae Peluso. It's a personal look. Well, it's not really a look because it's a podcast. I'm already fucking this up. This is kind of like a verbal comedy diary, a deep look into the crevices of my mind. It's gonna get dirty. You might cry. You probably laugh. Hopefully you'll laugh. The whole point is for you to laugh, but you also might cry. I talk about my family. I talk about farts. I talk about love, loss, comedy, how hard it is to make it in this biz. I'm a fucking professional. Each week it's something different. Sometimes I have a guest host. Sometimes it's gonna be a movie companion episode. Sometimes I just ramble about the bullshit I dealt with the week before. You never know what you're gonna get. It's raw, uncut, and funny. It's me. What's up, everybody? We are back. What a fucking week. What a month. What a year. It has been for everybody. I am upstate New York right now, and I'm super excited about our guest whose music I've been binging on lately and indulging in. And there's something about his sound that makes me feel nostalgic, but also hopeful because there's a new element to it. But he also kind of represents where I grew up in a way because of his sound. So I feel connected to him in that element. So I'm super excited to have him on the podcast. He's a busy motherfucker because he is everywhere. Please give it up for my new brother from another mother, Mr. Jason DeFord, aka Jelly Roll.
Yeah, baby. Yes, I'm here.
We were just talking about, the dramas of having children. You're a dad, so you know.
Yeah. It's a fucking thing.
I literally was just about to text my sister, hey, can they not ride on the car? What do you call those cars that they get? The mini cars?
Oh yeah, they got so they're babies, right? They got the like little Tonka trucks and shit. Power wheels. They're called power wheels. Yeah. The Power Wheel gang. I understand. I remember that.
How many kids do you have? I feel like isn't there a new baby?
I got dose. No new babies. But we do have two. And they're pretty spread out. I got a 5-year-old and a 12-year-old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the 12-year-old we have full time. My wife and I are that's like the constant. So the 5-year-old kind of, we get them when we can. So it's a little easier, but the 12-year-old is like always there.
And is it a girl?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, my 12-year-old's a daddy's little girl, dude. She's a little shithead. It's awesome.
How do you feel about having a daughter in this era? Because it's so hard to compare it. But when we grew up, there was no technology. We didn't have to worry about Instagram and social media.
No, dude, I seen a meme yesterday that said it the best. It was like, when I grew up, it was like I would come home with Loch Ness Monster stories of playing baseball for 6 hours, hitting 3 home runs, getting chased by a neighborhood pit bull. You know what I'm saying? Watching 2 bums fight. I would have the wildest stories. And my kid's story is just I made a new TikTok. I'm like, oh.
Oh no.
It was
depressing.
It's a totally different culture. I would literally come home Mom, I want a bag of chips. She'd be like, how? I'd be like, I bet on this one bum that he could beat up this other bum, and he did. You know what I'm saying? And she'd be like, okay. You know what I'm saying? And my kids check out this dance I learned to this super song that I shouldn't be dancing to until I'm 45. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, fuck.
And even the 45-year-olds are doing that on TikTok. It's everyone's dancing.
It's it, dude. And I'm fucking the opposite of a dancer, man. You know what I'm saying?
You grew up in Nashville, right?
Yeah, right out south of Nashville called Antioch. It's in Nashville, but I just represent my little district. So it's I'm from Antioch, Tennessee.
Do you have siblings growing up?
Oh, yeah. Fuck, a house full of them motherfuckers, dude. I had fucking 2 sisters and 3 brothers, and we always had a homeless cousin sleeping on the couch with his family. It was it was a big deal. We were like a constant turnbuckle halfway house for people. So every person in the family that ever hit a hard stretch has I lived with you one time. I'm like, all right. You know what I'm saying?
You were the halfway house for the family?
Yeah, that's what we did. My mother was she would accept all stray puppies. You know what I'm saying?
That's so sweet.
Yeah. That's how my wife is. So it works out perfect because my wife is come on, everybody come stay here.
She does. I've never met her. You guys have sent me a couple videos, and I obviously have cyber stalked your entire life, but she seems like a beam of light. She seems just like a beam of light.
Oh, dude, she's the best, man. She is definitely the rails to keep the train on the track.
Ooh, I mean, how badly do you need that? And I don't mean you specifically, but I also mean you and people like you.
No, personalize it. I was fucking shit out of luck. I'd have been long back in jail or fucking died of an overdose or something. I tell people when I met her, I was like a fucking 580-pound drug addict and a fucking just complete piece of shit. And now I'm like a 400-pound alcoholic. So we're making baby steps. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, at least you have self-awareness.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And you're willing to like go there about yourself. Most people, I feel like in your position, you know, it's one or the other. There's extreme self-awareness, or they're like, what?
Yeah,
I'm fucking perfect. What are you talking about? There's nothing wrong.
Fine. Yeah, no, totally.
It's them. It's not me.
yeah. It's fucking these. No, but so we've made great improvements, man. She's definitely anchors my ship down. So
how long have you guys been together now?
We've been together. We've been married for 4 years. We've been friends for quite a while. So
was she from where you grew up?
We're going on 5 now. No, she's from Vegas. So I met her like just touring. Much like comedians, right? I've always wanted to do a podcast with a comedian because I like am the. I think that's how we also became like I started stalking you too.
You're funny as fuck, man.
But I'm such a comedian fan. Like I don't listen to music on my tour bus, right? Like we don't listen to no music because like we make music for a living, right?
Right.
So it's podcasts and comedy specials and shit.
And I listen to music.
yeah, exactly. Because you know, fucking what you do, right? So it's like I've just always had this like earning to relate to like y'all's lifestyle is the exact same of ours, except for I'm jealous because y'all get all this money and y'all pay like a front of house person. Like, hey, you run the sound tonight. Here's a couple $100. You know what I'm saying?
We don't even do that.
Yeah. And it's like for us, it's like you got to fucking bring this whole band and a bus and shit. But it was like, so I was just constantly like, just like y'all, like anybody who would let me open for them for a couple $100. You know, my question wasn't how much money they were paying me. It was how many people were going to be there.
Right. Do you remember like who the first person you opened for was?
The first like nationwide tour. I opened up for everybody when they would come to Nashville because like I've always been like a real local guy. But my first nationwide touring act was, are you familiar with ICP?
It sounds like something you get after you go to Vegas.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I've had it twice, and you can get rid of it just like chlamydia with a fucking antibiotic. But
I think I got it now. I have to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, you've had the clap too? It fucking sucks, man. It's gone in 3 days though. You just
make it clap.
Yeah.
What is ICP?
It's the Insane Clown Posse. They're infamously like the Juggalo culture.
Yep.
So I toured with a band that was signed to them called Twisted. That was the first nationwide tour I did. And then I did an ICP tour. And I went on this metal tour with this band called Mushroom Head from Cleveland, Ohio. And those were like my first year of touring like that. I did like 220 shows. And my deal was like, I would just open up for anybody who like they'd call me like, you want to open up for such and such? I wouldn't know them. I'd be like, how many tickets are they going to sell? They'd be like, at least 300 tickets a night. I'm like, I'm fucking in. And they were like, don't you want to know what you're getting paid? I was like, I don't care.
It's grassroots. Like you literally.
I'll sell enough t-shirts to keep the fucking van running. Whatever. Let's just go.
Have you always had that like drive? Because I feel like another thing that happens with artists, you know, especially in the comedy industry, but I would imagine in the music industry, sometimes the artistry and the business savviness doesn't meet. But it seems like you've been grinding for so long and you understand the value of a single fan.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. Dude, it's like I explained to people that my shit was more like a comedian in the sense of it was real brick by brick.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the comedy world, y'all have very few cases, unless it's like, it's different now because you have people who blow up on the internet and they just go sell a 2,000 person theater out and have never worked a comedy club. And you're like,
and those people are like, what is this?
Yeah, for sure. It's like fucking, yeah. But it's like, in the old comedy days, there was nobody who had that opportunity, right?
No.
Like you had to work the fucking comedy clubs. Like you didn't have a choice. And you had to just brick by brick. And then you comedy club and then you do it 2 nights and you do it 3 nights. And then you're doing Zanies for 5 nights. And finally the booking agent comes to you and goes, we think you might be able to do the Ryman. And you're like, I go to the fucking theater now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so it was like the same thing in our world. We just built it brick by brick. We're playing like rock and roll clubs, like Whiskey a Go-Go's and shit across the country.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, that was kind of the vibe. And we just did it for fucking 10 years straight. And I met her just doing that.
That's so dope that she's been with you through your rise and has seen you, you know, at all the points of your career for the most part, especially like having her come in that time that you both appreciate the struggle that it takes to get where you are.
Oh, dude, it's like funny because for those of y'all, there's a lot of people watching this that don't know who I am. To be a fat, fucking repugnant fuck, I have a hot wife, like a super scorching wife, right? And because
she's so hot.
She's so hot. And because she's so hot, people are always like, she's a gold digger. And I'm like, do y'all know that I own like 3 pair of jeans in a 1997 Chevrolet Astro van when I met her and I slept on
great van.
Before I graduated to the bedroom, I slept on her couch. Like I was that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just like fucking couch surfing USA, just fucking doing shows and anywhere I could land. And our first 3 conversations, I just asked her if she had a Xanax. You know, I was just like all fucked up, like, you got a Xanax? She said you'd walk up like you were finna say something serious, just dead behind the eyes, like, you got a Xanax.
Is that the new pickup line?
Yeah, I mean, fuck, it worked for me, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, at least she liked you for you. Oh, you know what I mean? Sure. She loves every bit of you. You can see it. It seems like you guys have a very genuine relationship, and that's just hard to find, I think, especially now. Just the way, friends. Yeah.
Yeah, people fuck it up when they start not being friends no more.
You got to stay friends. How do you maintain that?
You have to think about it from friends. Like people don't think about everybody's best friends with the person they're fucking, right? We're all with their best friend, but you don't treat them like a best friend, right?
Right.
Because like, if me and my dude were out drinking a beer, my dude was like, God, look at that bitch. She's fucking smoking, right? I'd be like, fuck yeah, dog. But if your spouse does that about a dude, you're not best friends at that moment, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, or vice versa. So we just always remember that, like, how would you really treat it if it was your homie?
Right.
Like if it was you and one of your girls out drinking and she said something just absolutely wild, like if your dude said that, how would you feel?
It's just, you got to keep it real.
9 out of 10 times you're not best friends in that moment, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to be best friends all the time. And that's been our secret to success. And the other side is just constantly dating. Like we make each other fall in love. That's kind of our thing. Like make time for each other. You know what I'm saying? The goal is never just get stagnant in the relationship. So, I mean, I don't have it all fucking figured out, but I'm doing all right. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like that should be that's the main line. Like no one has it all figured the fuck out.
Right.
You're doing the best that you can, Right. And speaking of like, because I would imagine, you had a huge tour. I had a huge tour planned for this year.
Oh my God. Dude, I swear, man.
I mean, so first of all, what was your first thought when everything was going to be canceled?
Oh, we're fucked. I was like, we're fucked, man. It's like, I'm sure you're in the same spot I was in where like, I was starting to get offers for this year that like, I didn't believe. Like, I was like calling the booking agent after he'd send the email, like, yo, don't play with me, dog. Like, is this for real? He'd be like, no, I swear. I'd be like, for real, though. Like, you swear to God, that's how much they're guaranteeing me? He was like, dude, we're going to make money off the door, too. I was like, man, fuck that. You're telling me the number on the email is for sure? He was like, yeah. I was like, yes. Like, I started, like, making all these plans for life. And then what's even worse is I knew it was going to be a big year touring. So we did warm-up dates. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we did, like, 5 shows in December, 2 in February, like 3 in March. Like I was not doing shows to go do like 138 shows this year. Like I had this whole, like intentionally took last fall, winter, and fucking spring off. Like this is my year. Like I was gearing up for like, yeah. And fucking just not a fucking show, man.
I feel like did it make you kick up your social media? I feel like you feel present. You feel omnipresent.
Oh, yeah. No, dude. I had this thing where it was like, I knew that careers would be made and they would fade during this. And I knew that I knew that I had to transition from being just an artist to being a content creator. I was aware of that. It goes back to like making sure the art meets the commerce at times and understanding the importance of that, like from the business aspect of what we do. So I knew that it was like, okay, I have to make this make sense. Like I have to be bigger than an artist now. Like we have to go into content creation. Like we have to crank shit out. You know what I mean?
It is a part of the process now. Just like you said before, kids come back and from playing and they don't talk about all this stuff. They talk about TikTok. Like that's new playground for everybody.
That's it. And everybody's there too. So it's like a whole new thing. So I've been just doing the best I can with it. And I wanted to do it like an artist should. So we normally put out, maybe 3 to 12 videos a year, music videos. We will have put out 40 by the end of this year.
And that's just the evolution of what's going on. I mean, that's you keeping up and evolving with the current landscape. That's what makes artists like you not only survive, because I've talked about this in my podcast this entire quarantine. It's not about survival. It's about thrival. It's like how you can thrive.
Right.
Surviving is hanging on. Thriving is kicking through.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure. I know a lot of artists that just, like I said, that I'm worried about my label buddies. Like in our business, all my buddies, they count on touring. They can't control when they hit the upload button. They can't control the amount of content they put out. They are like, I talk to my dudes because I'm in Nashville, like Music Row, country music. I'm like, where my office is right now, I could throw a rock and hit Warner, right? Like, literally, I could run across the street right now and take a piss on Warner Brothers porch and come back before you roll a joint on this podcast. I think
that sounds like a great idea. I think when I'm in Nashville next, that we should make that content.
Yes, fucking and blog it. But so we're right here, and all my dudes are like, dog, I don't, they're talking about 2021 next year for us.
Us too.
Yeah, it's fucking.
And that's speculative. Let's be honest. Like that's even a speculation of when we're going to be out on the road because, do you want to go to a half-filled arena?
Right. Especially for what y'all do. We have a lot of crowd energy that's important, but like crowd work is y'all shit.
Yes.
Like, you count on the contagiousness of laughter. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and if that shit spread out in cars in a parking lot.
Oh yeah, you can't hear them at all. You're just having to hope it's landing. You know what I'm saying?
You'll have two types of comedians. Comedians who quit because they can't hear the laughter, and comedians who would thrive because they don't care.
They're just like, I'm fucking killing tonight. It's the best night I've ever had. You know what I'm saying?
It's just been me, honestly, like running my new jokes with my dogs. Like I tell my dogs jokes.
Oh, look at the little puppy. It looks like a little rat. Oh my God.
Look at his weenie though. Look how hungry he is.
Yeah, no, he's blessed. Fuck, I'm jealous. Jesus. Lucky fucking pup.
What were I want to know, like, what your parents were like when you grew up. Were you close with both of your parents?
Oh, so me and my dad were like really, really, really close. He wasn't there a lot because he worked really hard. My mother.
What did he do for work?
Not there. He was a meat salesman. So like
a meat salesman.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's a professional gigolo.
He's like, hey, I got a little sausage. You want to see it?
No, he really did. He sold wholesale meat. So my father's father had started a wholesale sausage company, and it was called DeFord Sausage Company, right? And
what?
This was back in the old era. Keep in mind, my dad would have actually been 77 today. So he came from the era where his father they went door to door with the meat truck with the cooler and the ice and was just I'm here for your weekly sausage drop. You know what I mean? Or you need some pork or some tenderloins or whatever. And he would just sell it right off the back of a wagon. And then my father was kind of a business savvy guy. So he paralleled it into a wholesale business. He realized that door to door wasn't the future. So he would partner with all the local, like grocery store. I hate to age us, but like, you remember like the Winn-Dixies. I don't know. You're from up there. I don't know what they were called up there, but like the CB Smiths, the Buy Rights, the Winn-Dixies, like the little local grocery stores. And he would sell meat to all those, like wholesale meat. So he also, for the first half of my life, was a bookie. So he would leave. I used to get allowance money for writing down the scores from Saturday's game off the Sunday papers on a sheet of paper for him. And when I got older, I'd finally be like, what was I doing that for? He'd say, because some dumbass would bet on Appalachian State versus fucking Southeastern Carolina University, and that wasn't on TV. So the only way I'd know if I won or lost would be, when the paper came out the next day. So I'd have you write down all the scores, but what I was looking for was them little obscure colleges that some drunk bet on. You know what I mean? Because he went to fucking South Appalachian State University and was like, I'm betting on them against whoever. You know what I mean? So, and that was just, you know what I'm saying? So me and him were really close. Me and my mom were super close. We had like I said, we had a really tight household. So
that's important, you know.
Yeah, we were like really, really, really close. You were really close with your family too, right?
Yeah, so it's your dad's birthday. Mm-hmm. Happy birthday to your dad. What's his name?
His name's Buddy. Buddy. He would have been 77. He died 2 years ago of CLL, of leukemia.
What a bitch.
Yeah, it just fucking sucks, dude. You know, I posted a video on my Instagram today of us singing him happy birthday, his last birthday. And I look back at it now and the sign was so clear. He was so frail because my dad was like a big old boy like me, big old broad shoulders, shake your hand, damn near break it ass motherfucker, right? You know, dad was, you know, we talked with a real baritone voice, you know, was really cool though, but just, hey, Jessimae, you know, that guy.
Was he funny?
Funny as fuck. He was he was a full-blown hoot, man. And but I look back and I go, man, he was really sick. And he was such an old school. He was one of them dudes who's been to the doctor like 3 times his whole life.
My dad was the same way.
Yeah, so he was like sick as fuck. And, you know, I'd say, Dad, what's up with you, man? He'd be like, I'm just getting old, Jason, just getting old. You know, and I'll never forget one day, like 8 months before he died, we were walking and he stopped and he was just breathing heavy and he was having trouble getting over one of those parking humps, right? And I was like, you all right, man? He was like, yeah, man, my fucking hip. That's how sharp he was, though. And, you know, it was his lungs. He had leukemia, but he didn't know. He wouldn't go. He wouldn't tell nobody he was that sick. He's like, it's my hip. I was like, dude, they're fucking $20,000. I'll buy you a hip. He was like, I don't fucking want a hip. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm fine. I was like, dude, it's an uninvasive surgery. It's like robots now. He's like, I don't want no fucking robot touching by my dick. He's like, I don't want fucking, I'm totally fine. I'm cool. Just give me a second. I'm going to get over it. You know, and because he was so tough, I thought he was, you know, I was like, oh, whatever. Blew it off. Now you look back at the pictures and go, damn, he was sick. You know, he was just, it didn't keep him from going to the watering hole every day at 5 o'clock. I'd meet him there and he'd just stumble in, grab him his drink. You know what I'm saying? You know,
are we related?
I'm telling you, dude, listen.
My dad was drinking every day.
Every day. So if you go to this spot called the Tin Roof on Demumbrian,
Tin Roof?
Yeah, the Tin Roof. The wife and I will take you there when you come to town. So it was the first tin roof ever. And they have a plaque above where he sat at the bar with his name on it that they like drilled in when he died. He was like a legend at this spot. Like they got pictures of him all around the bar now. He's like he was the man at that bar. And
well, if you ever tour here, we have a bar in Syracuse. If you ever find yourself in Syracuse touring, we've got some huge venues. I'll take you to the Change of Pace where literally nothing changes. And my dad has his stool there and they've got photos of him everywhere as well.
That's awesome. No, that was Buddy DeFord, dude. It's like all the way.
So wild.
Yeah. That was
what
cool.
You know, I read some things about you talking. You made a post when your dad passed away. Was it in May 2019?
It was March 19. Yeah.
March 19. You said that there were too many lessons to list that your father had taught you. When you think of the top of your head, lessons that were the most important, or maybe lessons you've used a lot in your own fatherhood, what comes to mind?
Don't sweat the small stuff. Believe it or not, it's probably like the basic essential of it. When I was in prison, he gave me a book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. It's all small book, right? And I read it, and I didn't understand the power of it until later. But I was like, he's totally right. Like, it's all fucking minuscule, dude. None of this shit really matters, you know?
Were you just as close with your mom in a different way?
Yeah, in this really weird way. So, like, me and my mother are close, but, like, my mother was, like, has struggled with her own demons her whole life, you know? And by default, I've had to struggle with them. And I'm, like, the only family member that still talks to her. So I take care of her, and I love her. And her and my other brother, her and one of my brothers are close. My other brother, who didn't talk to her for 20 years, I took him over there to see her like 3 months ago. First time they see each other in 20 calendar years. So, you know, she's, we're really close. We're close. Yeah. It was more me and dad because he was just more mobile. You know, I hate to say it that way, but my mother's one of them old right now. she's sitting at a kitchen table, drinking a Coke, smoking a cigarette that she just lit off of another cigarette. She might not have even put the previous cigarette out. It might be sitting there smoking down to the butt with the new one lit and rolling with a cigarette at a kitchen table, Indian style, or one leg crossed under another, shaking back and forth, just puffing. You know what I'm saying?
Is smoking section about her?
Well, it's just smoking section was just like about everybody I'd ever seen that went through some shit like that. You know, it's like the whole idea of smoking section for me was, where is the part of heaven for us? Right? Like where, like, we know where we belong at in the church, in the back pew. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, we made it in church, but just fucking barely. So when we make it to heaven barely, like, where do you put us at? You know what I'm saying? And my idea was always like, well, there's got to be a smoking section up there. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be.
Yeah.
Plus, I'll age myself again. I remember smoking sections, right? Like, kids don't get it, but like, I vividly remember walking into a restaurant, and Shoney's especially, but they knew my mother. They didn't even ask. They just hurried us to the smoking section. And it was funny because they didn't have nothing that blocked the regular section from the smoking section. So when you look back, it was all the fucking smoking section, right?
What were we thinking?
It was like one big square room in this corner would just be for smokers. And she'd just be back there just fucking literally. My mother would walk into Shoney's with one lit in her hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not putting this out. Just hurry me to my table. You know what I'm saying?
Who gave you
Foxworthy might be a redneck if books, when they were the books and they had the picture of the old lady with the curlers and the nightgown, the moo. That's my mother. For sure. I've seen her not wearing a nightgown like maybe 6 times my whole life. You know what I'm saying?
My face hurts.
I swear this is true, man.
Did she give you the name Jelly Roll? Where'd Jelly Roll come from?
I've been fat forever. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you how this doctor fucked me, right? Not literally, but in this weird way. This doctor, when I was a kid, I wouldn't eat. So I don't remember this, obviously, or have pictures to prove it. But from 1 to 3.5, I was like beanpole skinny, but big shoulders. And they were like, this boy's got to fill out. So at like 4 years old, the doctor was like, feed him anything he'll eat. And apparently all I would eat was bowling alley French fries and donuts. You know what I'm saying? So my mother took it literal and was like, yep, fucking feed him French fries and donuts. So she started calling me her little jelly roll because I'd come wake up looking for donuts. And it just fucking stuck.
So your mom basically is the reason that she turned you into a big boy.
Yeah, she literally turned me into a little fat fucker, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, I want to paint a picture of my mom more clear, too. I don't want you to expect this to be a small woman in a nightgown. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you to be under the impression it's going to be like a 120-pound, 5'6" woman. Yeah, it's not the case. She's like 5'2", 210. You know what I'm saying? She's a little bitty short nugget, about as wide as she is tall. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, I haven't laughed this hard in so long.
She's just sitting there chain smoking cigarettes, dude. It's
Indian style at the kitchen table.
Got a kitchen table and a moo-moo, fucking just blowing them back to back.
She sounds like a hoot.
If we pull up there, she'll tell you the best stories, dude. She'll tell you about when she worked the car hop in the 50s and shit. Yeah, my mother, I was like 12 years old, and my mother was just like openly talking to me about wild shit. That's just
like what?
So it would be like, I call them the Golden Girls. It was like her and 5 or 6 of her girlfriends. And they would all sit downstairs. And they would sit around the kitchen table and smoke cigarettes and just tell wild stories. And I would just go sit with them and just hang out. You know, I was like, oh, this is fucking, they'd let me hang out. So they're like, come on, pull up a chair. I remember sitting there just fucking, because they were just fucking just blowing, right? And they would just tell crazy fucking stories about sucking dicks and car hop parking lots and just fucking wild shit. And I just remember being like, this is fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying? Oh, these old ladies were the goats.
The Golden Girls. Absolutely. Yeah. Is that what she did when you were a kid? She worked the car hop?
Well, she was a bartender when she met my father.
Ooh, so, when he was selling his sausages?
Yeah, for sure. When he was sausage.
He was like, I'll take one of those sausages.
Yeah, so she met him at a bar. She was working at a place. But before that, like in her younger years, she worked at the Quality Inn. She's really got a crazy story because she's around my dad's age. She's in her 70s. Mm-hmm. And she grew up in a single mother home with 3 other sisters and 1 brother. So it was 5 of them all together with a single mother. And you got to think
in that era.
In that era, that was like that woman was going to hell. You know what I'm saying? According, especially in Nashville, Tennessee, the South.
Right.
So it was just, she just grew, and the mother was, Granny Hazel, God rest her soul, was mean as a scorpion. Man, that old lady was just fucking crazy mean. Even I remember being a kid, just all the time. So Donna just grew up real rough, man. You know what I'm saying? They called them the Gleason girls. That's her maiden name was Gleason, her and her 3 sisters. And they just grew up real, real tough. So mama just found her way, never made it out of the 9th grade, you know.
She didn't graduate past the 9th grade.
Nope.
What were some lessons that she taught you?
Well, you know, I didn't realize what she was teaching me when she would say it then, but we talk about education and she'd go, look, man, get through school because it's important. But at the end of the day, you're just doing that to work for somebody who decided to work instead of go to school.
I mean, that's the whole problem with our education system right there.
It's so real when you think about it. You know what I mean? It's like, and the talks I have with my daughter to this day are just like, Bailey, the shit that matters in life is not going to be taught to you from 3 to 3. I mean, from 8 to 3. The shit I teach you from 3 to 8 is the shit that's going to matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Donna used to always tell me that. I'd come back in and we'd talk about math and she'd be like, that shit don't matter if you can't balance a checkbook, you know.
And they never taught us that in school. There was no financial classes that would carry on the math. They're teaching us all this long division. What the fuck does it matter if I have no money? Nope. I'm dividing nothing.
Yep, that was Donna DeFord, dude. She taught me that real. Just Donna was a hoot, man. She's still a hoot. You come to Nashville, me and the wife will take you.
I need to hang out with her.
She's a hoot, man. That old lady's fucking hilarious.
I am coming to Nashville because a couple of my dear friends are moving there. Josh Wolf, who you need to know, you will love him, is moving to Nashville, and a couple other people I know. So, and I know Kelly Pickler out there and a few other artists. So I would love to come see you for sure.
Link it up, dude. Fucking, we're excited. We don't leave, that's for sure.
I mean, where the fuck are we gonna go? What about getting into music? What was there one thing that drove you? I know you talked about demons, and obviously music is a great avenue and outlet to talk about your demons per se. What drove you to music?
I think everybody is looking for a way to express themselves or identify with somebody who's expressing what they believe. And music was it for me. I always wrote, always did fucking songs, always like wrote poetry when I was a kid. I'd come down and mom would be like, read what you wrote to us, to the Golden Girls at the table and shit. So I was like always in the middle of that. You know what I mean? But I just like, it just kind of started turning really like forming into, it started hip hop obviously. And just kind of kept forming, and just it's what I do, man. I couldn't imagine.
You are a poet. Listening to your lyrics, there's a huge vulnerability that you display. It's like this blend of vulnerability and toughness just from the life that you've lived. And you say, I only feel right when I'm down, when I'm doing wrong.
Right. Yeah.
And can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, man. It's like, I find I have a lyric that I say, I love the darkness where no one goes, where no one's known, so everyone's at home. You know, it's like the idea of like, I've always felt like a voice for the voiceless. And like to this day, you know, it's an old Tim McGraw lyric that says, I'm a little more back row bar than a fancy one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just as a general trait, like I know my people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was before the music. Now I know who I'm singing to. So I mean, that's like the most important thing for a musician is figure out who the fuck you were writing songs for, write them for them, right? But for me, it was easy because I knew my people before that. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew my people. When I would walk into a bar, I'd browse the bar and be like, oh, that's my people. That's my people.
Who would you say your people are?
I'll tell you a story. I went out with this label guy the other day, and all I can say on this podcast per a non-disclosure agreement is I am very close to signing a record deal. And I've stayed independent to this point in my career.
You have been independent.
Yeah. But we went to like some real fancy steakhouse, right? And I was already sitting there when he came in, and he sat down and looked at me and said, man, I'm kind of surprised more people in here don't know you, man. I know you're real famous in Nashville. I said, oh, these aren't my people. I said, but I tell you this, before we leave here, the cook will come out and say, what's up to me. The line cook will be here before we leave. The waitress will ask for a picture before we leave. And the valet guy will know who I am for sure. We sat there and sure enough, as soon as they dropped the plate off, cook came out. Jelly, man, what's up, baby, man? What do you think about the steak? Before we left, the waitress was like, can I grab a picture? Before walked out, when we got our car, valet dude already had my truck pulled up. Like, yo, I parked it right here for you, Jelly. I knew it was you. It looked like your truck you'd be in. They said you was inside. And I was like, I know my people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know my people. Like, I know them when I see them. It's middle class, lower class, blue collar, white trash fucking people. I know them. I'll spot them from across the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know my kind of folks when I see them. Like, in the comedy world, I knew Joey Diaz was my kind of people. You know what I'm saying? I know my kind of people. You know what I'm saying? I knew Bert was my kind of people, right? My wife seen you on was it
Girl Code?
Girl Code. She seen you on Girl Code, right? So she was like, yo, that's your kind of people. Like, we know our kind of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know my kind of people. Like, I'm not going to waste time. Even when if somebody walks up to me, man, you do music or something? I know that if you're not my people, I will lie to you. I'd be like, yeah, kind of, man. I play the piano every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not.
I play the piano. I'm a finger symbolist.
You're not going to fucking look me up and like the music. I'm not going to sit here and waste my time going into the what I do shit with you. Like, yeah, fucking, I fucking play the horns. You know what I'm saying? I know everything but the fucking skin flute. You know what I mean?
I've seen your wife. You do play the horns. She is.
The fuck out of them horns.
God, she's gorgeous. Well, speaking of your people, I have a bunch of questions from your fans. Would you like to answer a couple?
I love answering questions, man.
Okay. This is hilarious. I'm sure you get this shit all the time. Stu Burgundy, what's an email I can send you some beats?
Oh, shit. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to look one up for him, actually.
You should. It would make his year. It would make his life.
Yeah. You know what I'll do? I'll get him to send it to, hold on. Fuck, man.
You listening, Stu? We're going to get you an email.
Dude.
Stu.
I love Burgundy, by the way. I fucking
Stu Burgundy.
I thought about Ron Burgundy and got fucking just so excited.
Oh, yeah. I have many leather-bound books.
Hold on.
50% of the time, it works every time. I want to be on you. I don't know how to say this, but I want to be on you.
There it is. Matt at wardogmgmt.com. MATT at wardogmgmt.com. That is spelled like war, W-A-R, and dog as in a poodle.
Stu, you probably weren't expecting that. But see, when you ask, you get.
That's it. We have not because we ask not. The Bible says that.
Absolutely. Stephanie B. True, what's your favorite tattoo and can we see it? And got to say thank you for saving me and for bringing me back to life.
Oh, dude. Thank you, Stephanie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Stephanie. Great question. I have too many tattoos that mean something to me. But believe it or not, I guess immediately the ones that mean the most to me are from my neck above. So my son's name is right here. My daughter's name is on the side of my head. I got my wife's, the B. She's got the J on the side of her ear. I got the B on mine. I got this rose when my father passed away. And I got this cross because I believe that we all have to bear our own cross. And I'm reminded to carry mine every day.
You got it right when you look at it, right in the morning.
As soon as I wake up, first thing and that's what people ask, what'd you do that for? And I was like, it just reminds me that I got to carry mine.
Yeah. And also it's my body and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, for sure.
that's my input.
I was really close to doing a little dick on there, but I didn't. So be happy.
Oh, little dick. Maybe I'll get a little dick. Badass 88. When is Waylon and Willie 4 coming out?
I can't say, but super soon, before the end of the year. I probably shouldn't have even said that, but before 2021.
This is a really good question from Wills 115. Did Jelly ever want to quit at times? And what were the times that made him want to give up? That's a tough question.
Yeah, dude. The most memorable was right before I dropped The Biggest Loser in 2015. That was like the one that I even like posted a Facebook status about it. Like, dude, I'm over this, y'all. I've tried. I've been touring for 10 years. I've been eating dirt and eating shit. And I just got to give this up. And I'm sorry. And I sat down with Dad, of all people, that day. I was like, dude, I think I'm just going to fucking, figure out something to do with my real life. And he was like, why? You're so close. I was like, I don't feel so close. He said, well, listen, son, it's the law of work ethic, right? I'll never forget this conversation. He said, if you'd have went to college for this, right now, you would be going into your doctorate degree to be a fucking brain surgeon. You got to be close. You're working just as hard as every kid at Vanderbilt is on their 7th year right now. He was like, don't fucking bail out now. And sure enough, I stuck with it. 2 years later, I made a little money. But that was it. But I tell you what, I battle a deep-rooted depression, right, that just swarms me unexpectedly. I have to make myself not quit 4 or 5 times a year still, Jess.
How do you, what keeps you going?
Well, I've learned the kids, the family, the people that work for me now. I'm pretty selfless. If life was just about me, I'd have definitely already, probably accidentally killed myself. You know what I mean? Because I did a lot of stuff that should have killed me. You know what I mean? This big old boy is a tank, I tell you. You know what I'm saying? It's held some shit that would have took the average man up out of here. You know what I'm saying? But I probably would have accidentally killed myself. So it's like, I look at that now and go, okay, cool, I'm doing this for this. Plus, I got my wife and a good team now that I can talk to. It's so important to be able to sit down with somebody and go, hey, man, I feel like shit. Like, I for no reason at all, just hate my life today. And them not think you're doing it for attention. For them to know that that's just how you're wired and, help you through that. You know what I'm saying? And I got a good team that if I'm like, yo, man, I don't fucking feel like doing that. They're really cool about not trying to press me to do shit I don't want to do. That's why I've been scared to sign record deals. I don't want to never get in a situation where I don't have the right to say no. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see that in your world too. Comedians end up in all these deals and they're fucking losing their mind. They're like, I don't want to go to set today. And they're like, no, you don't have a choice, motherfucker. You coming to set. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a team that's like, if I'm just like, dude, I'm not going today. They're just like, cool, don't go. I'll be like, I'm going to fucking get drunk. They're like, cool, what bar are we meeting at? You know what I'm saying? Like,
the tin roof.
Yeah, fucking easy sell. So
I think that's important. It's basically you're speaking to a community and having a community around you. And, as much as it takes a village to raise a child, it also takes a village to, support a man and a woman and whoever through those times. And it's important. I think you are a voice for the voiceless in so many aspects, especially because of depression, through a lot of your songs on, Beautiful Disaster and even the newer album you have, Self-Medicated, you have a disclaimer above it that says, if I can just help one person in any way, right? What does it say above it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. If I can just help one person in any way, it's what I tell. I have people email me, say, man, excuse me, dude. I'm sorry. I know I keep sniffling. I don't got the COVID. I did blow this.
Am I making you cry?
No. I did blow this weekend and I'm really struggling to get over it. But it's oh
my God, I love you.
I don't do it like I used to. So now when I do it, it lingers. You know what I'm saying? But
wow.
I just dribbled myself a little bit.
You are the most honest, one of the most honest people I've ever talked to. You are. It's beautiful.
Oh, and I'm finna talk about something so serious. Let me get this out.
You're talking about your album Self-Medicated. You said verbatim, my dear, you said, hope this finds somebody who needs it.
Yeah, no, it's like I have people send messages like, yo, man, your music helped me get sober. Your music, helped me through the death of a family member. Your music kept me from killing myself, like deep messages. And I was telling somebody one day that if just one of those people is telling the truth, right? They might all be telling the truth, but I mean, let's just for all argumentative purposes, just say one person's telling the truth. Man, that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's amazing. Like that I from remotely had an opportunity to help somebody get sober, stop them from suicide, help them through the worst moment. One thing I don't take for granted is what I do. And this is where I connect with comedians too, is you've got whatever your set time is, normally like hour specials, right? When y'all get into that part of the game, you got 1 hour where you can change how everybody in the fucking world feels. You know what I'm saying? You got 1 fucking hour where every problem's left at the kitchen table. We're all sitting down and watching fucking Jessimae Palooza right now. And 4 minutes into it, we're grabbing our belly. We're all pissing ourselves a little bit. We're ha-ha-ing each other. You know what I mean? We're relating. And for 1 hour, every problem in the world didn't matter. I'm sure you don't take that for granted. Like, I don't take for granted that I get to make somebody's life different for 3 minutes at a time. I got 3 minutes to either make you feel what you're feeling and deal with it, or to help you get through it, or to take your mind off of it, whichever one you're listening for. And I know I make music for all three. I make music for you to put something in and be like, I'm not thinking about that shit for the next 3 minutes. I'm finna smoke a joint, get high, and listen to this. Or it's like, you know what? I'm gonna process this emotion this way. You know what I mean? I don't take that for granted. So I just hope I hope the music meets people where they are, and I hope it helps.
I think it does. And it's one of the things that, because of the way you've approached your career, because I think also what your grandfather instilled in your father and what your father instilled in you, as far as like the business aspect, you understood and saw value in helping individual people and growing individual fans, because it is a fan base, but your approach is a very individual focused style.
Right.
Where you're speaking to a person.
Oh yeah, no, like directly. People tell me all the time, and I feel like you wrote that song about me. And I told somebody recently, I did, because I quit writing songs about me years ago.
Yep.
You know, when I really started identifying who I was writing songs for, I just gave my perspective of their story. You know what I'm saying?
Did it make it easier or harder?
It makes it so much easier. You know who you're speaking to. Now the creative part is making sure you don't write the same song over and over again.
Right.
You know, it's like, for you, it's like, how do you make these 60 minutes better than the last 60 minutes? You know, how do you make this 15-minute set so strong that it means something in 15 minutes? You know, what's your best 15 minutes, you know, without it sounding like something they'd already heard? Or so, I mean, that's where it starts getting interesting. You know,
and making them want more. You got to leave them with just enough, but not too much, and make them feel so connected that they need to find you. They have to find you in some other way. Yeah, it's a different thing. But yeah, music has got a healing power to it, just like laughter. We're the only people that are in the therapy business without being in the goddamn therapy business. I tell you, man, for sure. Let me tell you. Everyone, they call me Dr. Palooza. I'm not even a real doctor. And I got people who message me all the time. I'm like, I have to put disclaimers like, look, I am not a real doctor.
I need all of you. On your story when you're like, I am not a real doctor, but you can ask Dr. Palooza whatever you want. You know what I'm saying?
Here's a good question. Another question. Is that okay?
Oh, of course, I'm here.
Mask Jesse. Are you already where you want to be?
No, but I'm further than I ever thought I would be. So that's probably like the weirdest way to answer that. It's like, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm a lot further than I ever thought I would be. You know, it's like, I never want to get stagnant. You know, if I'm ever where I want to be, I'll quit. You know what I mean? It's like, people ask me, what's your favorite album you ever released? And I don't say it because I'm supposed to. Right now, it's self-medicated.
Yeah.
Because the day that I believe the album I didn't just put out is my best album, I won't put that motherfucker out.
Yep. That's a great answer.
I'm going to quit the music business before it quits me. You know,
Seinfeld, sure. You're going to Seinfeld that shit.
I'm up out of here, dog. I tell people I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. I won't do no fucking goodbye tour. I won't do a reunion tour. I won't do a final album fucking notification. I'm fucking gone, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, for sure.
Yes.
The day I can't sit in this room and pick up that guitar, or fucking sit down with my keyboard player, or fucking my dude David Ray and write fucking songs that I think can change the world, I'm fucking out of here, y'all.
Or fucking Tristan, if Tristan isn't in there.
Yeah, I wish he was. He'd be so excited to hear that. He's like, yes, I'm on a podcast. He's like,
Joey Eok, a girl, asks, this is a relationship question, which I think we touched on a little bit earlier, but I think you might have some good insider for her. She said, my boyfriend's not affectionate at all, but I'm like a fucking chinchilla. I need it. and he said he would try. So,
well, you got to hold him accountable to what he says. That's one. You know, he said he'd try. You got to find a way to be like, yo, what's up with that effort? You know. But two is like, y'all need to have the deeper talk that is the language of love talk, right? Like, that is your language of love. That is your, you know, and then you need to figure out what his language of love is, and then figure out where the compromise is and get him to understand that that's really the language that you respond to the best. You know what I'm saying? For like,
yep. What do you respond to the best? Like in your relationship, what's your love language?
Probably just time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I probably respond best to communication and time, just like any time I get to spend with Bunny. You know, like, like our and I think hers is the same. She also likes physical touch, but it's like before that, about every 2 or 3 months, we go somewhere for a weekend, just us. You know,
dating. Yeah,
it's back to it's like, because we're so busy, we can't do it the way we want to. So it's like, all right, fuck it. Right now, we're planning to go to like the West Coast in November for like a week. We'll go for 2 weeks. 1 week, we'll bring the family out. The other week, it'll be just us.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. We won't fuck with our phones. You know what I'm saying? And we do that.
Get butt naked in the sand.
Yes, dude. We do that every 2 to 3 months. Like, and if it's getting real hectic, we'll just stop what we're doing and go now.
Yeah.
You know, like if we start getting like a little squirrely with each other, you know, then we'll just sit down and be like, yo, we fucking need to go to like, you know, and I understand that everybody, you know, maybe you're not in a financial situation to just run away, right? Cool. Clear the fucking house out. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And make that your paradise, you know? Do whatever the fuck y'all want to do. I know a couple that, no lie, every Friday gets their kids picked up by the grandparents. They walk out the front door, like when they drop the kids off, act like they're getting in the car. And when the kids get in the grandparents' car, they run back in the house and they play video games every Friday night like fucking kids. And this is this couple's this is their thing, though. You know, they were gamers. They got like fucking 5 kids now. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just go back and just smoke weed and fucking play video games and just are completely, that's their irresponsibleness. You know what I'm saying?
And feeling like they're friends, like you said. You spoke to that.
This is how we started. You know what I'm saying? This was our shit. Before we had kids, we'd fucking get stoned. And now we literally smoke weed 1 day a week because we got 5 kids, a nanny. We both got successful careers.
Oh, I tell my sister she needs to start the day with some weed.
Yeah. No, first you got to wake up and dab.
You got to wake up and you got to dab and dad.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's it. Dab and dad. I should write that book. You know what I'm saying?
Please write it. A couple more questions, and I'm going to get a closing thought from you. Natalie G, 1806. When did you find out you loved Bunny?
Oh, dude. Corny answer alert. As soon as I met her, I knew Bunny was special. Like, you know, you just meet people and go, man, that girl is like, I think that we were both able to see that we were bigger than our current situations. She was with like an abusive douchebag, and I was a fucking drug addict, fucking wannabe musician at the time. So it's like, I think that we both seen past that with each other. You know what I mean? Like immediately, you know? And I just harassed her for Xanax bars until she finally gave me a conversation. Let the record reflect.
Xanax. You have any Xanax? This might be a quick one. Mostly Nero. Favorite Tom Waits album?
Tom Waits?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Are you a fan of Tom Waits?
No, am I finna get crucified for not being?
I don't know. Maybe he assumed you did because of the self-narration that happens through your music, but it's a totally different genre.
Yeah, well, I listen to a lot of genre bending stuff. I do not listen to hip hop or much rock for what it's worth. But I listen to like old school rap. Like I'm like really stuck in the 90s with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So am I. Yeah, it's like fucking the golden years for me.
Favorite 90s rapper?
Oh, fuck, dude.
It's so hard.
Yeah, it's so dude. I feel like every great rapper that ever came out was in the 90s, right?
They all were.
2000s or the super early 2000s. I was also a big fan of like local rap. So like in the 90s, we had a local rapper named Cool Daddy Fresh. And he had a song that was like, sex drive, rolling through the west side, been around the world, and girl, I can't tell you no lie, because I love to drive them crazy till the day that I die. Sex drive, rolling through the west side. And I still bang that shit. Like, I can still sing it, and it's from like 97. You know what I'm saying? Like, for sure.
Just some dude in the cut who never got to the top.
Yeah, he did really good, but he never, really, outside of our region, people like, Cool Daddy Fresh, but he was the man.
I think I had this comparison between Nas and Jay-Z, how Nas was like the Nikola Tesla and Jay-Z was like Thomas Edison.
Yes.
Like, they both were so creative in their own way and both were complete geniuses, but just one's name got more popular.
Yeah, and they were both so descriptive.
So descriptive.
I mean? So descriptive. I love music that paints a real picture, man. I love when you can listen to something and see it. That's why I'm a huge James Taylor fan. You know what I'm saying?
James Taylor?
Oh, dude, let's talk about my favorite songwriters, right? My favorite songwriters of not this generation, like the olders, James Taylor, Jim Croce, one of the greatest songwriters ever. No, our dog, Chachi, my wife's dog, his real name is Croce. She just changed his name because that's just what she does to people. But Chachi, we named him after Jim Croce. Like, I am beyond a Jim Croce fan. Bob Seger. My playlist is stuck in the 70s. Dylan, both Dylans. I'm talking about the Tambourine Man Dylan. I mean, I could fuck with like a Rolling Stone too. And when Bob Dylan put the sunglasses off and didn't take them off for 10 years and plugged in the guitar.
I loved it.
But I really fuck with like, hey, Mr. Tambourine Man. Like, I fuck with like the old Dylan. Like, those dudes wrote so descriptive songs and about crazy shit. Jim Croce had a song about I fell in love with the roller derby queen. And he was talking about this big bitch that was beating people up in a roller derby. You know what I'm saying? It was like, he said she was built like a refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm serious, man.
Sounds like a big bitch.
It's wild, dude. He wrote songs about pool hustlers. The famous song was about old pool hustler, man. Bad Leroy Brown, the baddest man in the whole damn town. And he wrote like really fucked up songs. Operator.
Oh, that song. Are you kidding me?
10? What about box number 10? Straight out of Southern Illinois. Gamma long haul country boy. You know what I'm saying? He talked about somebody beating him up and taking his guitar and his money and him asking for his mama to send him more money. That's the kind of songs he was writing. And you think about James Taylor, dude, I could go on this rant forever. You think about James Taylor and like Sweet Baby James when he talks about the frosting from Stock Ridge to Boston, and he like paints this whole picture of like what the roads look like.
Right. He was very descriptive in his music.
Dude, that dude was like, it was just, you could close your eyes and listen to that music and go where they were. You know what I'm saying? Like, they painted that clear of a picture.
It's interesting that you like that music because for me, I gravitate more towards, and not sadder, but I guess lower energy things because I'm such a high energy person and my comedy is very high energy and, somewhat motivational that I gravitate towards sad music and towards, movies that not comedies. Like, I don't listen to comedy. I listen to, darker things and watch darker things. So it's interesting that you kind of have that, what you enjoy doesn't necessarily fit with what you're putting out as much. There's a little bit of there's a difference there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've always identified with sad clowns. My father had paintings of them all over our house when I was a kid.
Yeah, what's that lyric? You have that lyric in
to tell the truth, I'm infatuated with sad clowns. I guess they help me better understand my dad now.
Yeah.
Those that entertain at the expense of pain, those that dance in the rain instead of just complain. Yeah, so it's like, but as identifying as a sad clown, I love a good happy circus clown act. Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know who I am. I know what my shit is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what's right here. You feel me? So it's like, I guess for comedians, I kind of expect that. Like, whenever I watch Rogan post shit, like on his playlist shit, like Sturgill, I'm a huge Sturgill fan.
Yes.
So is he. And I'm like, you know what? I would totally like, I don't expect Joe Rogan to be out here like listening to fucking, Happy Feet. Yeah, like I just don't, like for what he does and his energy, like, fuck, that's totally what I expect him to listen to, So I think that's the connection with it too. You know, I think that we're always goes back to you listening to music in the car and me listening to fucking the Sharp Tongue podcast in my car. You know what I mean? Like it's just fucking, you know, it's like
you're gonna have to listen to this one.
Yeah, I can't wait. Let's share it with everybody. Seeger, by the way, I hate to talk about all the 70s icons and not
talk about whatever you want.
Because Bob Seger had the greatest quote about music ever. And I've stole this quote from him for 10 years and never gave him credit, so I should today. He said, I search for songs I can sing with conviction. And just in one sentence, that meant so much to me. You know, when they was like, where'd you get your voice from? How did you learn to sing like that? And he didn't take none of the credit for it. He took he gave the song the credit. He was like, I just search for songs I can sing with conviction. Like I'm not fucking I don't even know what y'all think about my singing necessarily. I feel convicted when I sing it. So that's how I sing. I love that. When you think about the shit he did, you know?
Yeah. And you think about like, you know, even just the jokes and stand up, like if I can't deliver it with conviction, if I can't feel connected to it, it doesn't feel right.
Right.
Coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Of some sort, you know, and like you don't always have to tell your story. It might be a story that you know, your sister's story. It's just funny and you connect with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like going back to, you know, who your people are. So I think about Bob saying that all the time, dude. And I think about songs like Against the Wind. You know what I'm saying?
That's such a great song.
My favorite song ever. You know what I'm saying?
It's such a quintessential, like, first of all, it's a great road trip song.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just so, like you talk about songs sort of painting the picture. It's that type of song.
Oh, yeah. No, my wife loves Blame It on Midnight. Shame on the Moon. Ooh, blame it on midnight. Shame on the moon. That's like her shit. Yeah.
What about Stevie Ray Vaughan?
Oh, dude, stop it. I love. Anytime somebody can make the song talk to me and the guitar, I love people that can make an instrument convey an emotion.
Yeah, it's so powerful.
Like you can literally, I can feel what you're feeling because of an instrument you're playing. Like that's fucking insane to me. You didn't have to say a word, you know, and I appreciate that because I'm a top line guy. I can play.
What does that mean?
Guitar. I'm a lyric guy. So it's like, I'm not like melodies and shit, the song melodies, lyric melodies, but guitar shit, that's not my shit. You know what I mean? But I can play just enough to trick people at a fucking bar.
at a party?
Yeah. I can break it out. If there's not a real guitar player there, I could pull one out at the beach and people be like, woo, you know, but I'm like a fucking guitar player. So I'm just like jealous of the dudes who can do that. You know what I mean?
What you spoke a little earlier about like your mom having her demons and you have your own. What do you think are your reoccurring demons?
You know, I have a lyric on Waylon and Willie 4 that I said, when it comes to depression, we all deal with it different. As for me, it's obesity and alcoholism, right? And I feel like if there was ever a fucking 2 bars that could describe what I struggle with the most now, you know, and this is coming from a guy who like, I'm really proud to have these problems in this weird way because my drug of choice used to be more, right? Like it used to be like, what's in your pocket? You know, like, well, do you party? It's like, yeah, what do you party with? What do you got? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, well, we got a little meth. Well, fuck it. We're doing meth tonight. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like, anybody got anything better? No? Okay, well, we're doing meth. You know what I'm saying? It's like fucking, you know. So like to go from that dude to being like the dude who like might hit the pack like twice a year if I'm like really celebrating. I'm so drunk I trust the guy with the pack and I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Tonight's a cocaine night. I only do it twice a year. You know what I'm saying? It's like I feel really proud of myself. Like I used to drink codeine. When I met my wife, I drank lean, took Xanax. I was a cocktail of death, you know. But yeah, now it's just, you know, dealing with the obvious. So, and I'm working on them. I'm getting through it. You know?
It's day by day. It's incremental progress, you know, and
I celebrate the progress I have made. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
you have to.
I haven't drank lean in probably 2 years now. So I'm proud of it.
That's an accomplishment.
It's a big accomplishment. You know, and it was hard because there was a moment you go through it as an artist where you're like, can I be creative without it?
Yeah, at 100% because it becomes a crutch and you're like, I don't know how to perform without it. And I can't write without it. And, you know, I went through stages like that in my career. Early in my career, I was like, oh, I need to be buzzed before I go on stage, or I need to be drunk when I'm performing. And
right. No, it's just
it's a hard thing.
When you cut albums that do well and you know that you were drinking, 4 ounces of fucking promethazine and codeine every time you recorded those songs or wrote them, you go in there to do it without it, you feel weird, so I've learned now that the music's the drug, so I do it sober now. Now I'm getting old enough to where I won't even drink until towards the end of a session.
And was that with self-medicated? Is that how you recorded?
Yeah. It's like sometimes it's just weird for me. It just kind of depends on where I'm at mentally. But
yep,
for the most part, it was a soberish album. Soberish. I drank.
I think soberish is a step in the right direction.
I didn't do no lean or no crazy drugs or nothing. My wife cleared me of all that. She just came right in and was like, "Yo, I'm with you, whatever you want to do, but this, we got to do something better here. We got to figure this out." So she don't mind me drinking because I'm not like, I think more than anything, I don't let it get in the way of. My father was really good about it. It never affected his business, right? Like fucking 5 o'clock in the morning, that dude was up. I don't care what time he went to sleep or what condition he went to sleep in. You never heard him complain. I complain of hangovers. Never heard him complain of a hangover. But one of the big lessons he taught me in life was, never let personal feelings, physical feelings, or the weather keep you from conducting business.
Oh,
literally, I'll never forget that. It was like one of his buddy quotes that I'll like forever quote to my daughter, like personal, physical, or weather. Like, I don't give a fuck. The day he taught me that, it was like the biggest snow in Nashville history in like 97. It was like fucking crazy snow. And he was like, come on, ride with me to work. I got to go pick something up. We'll come right back. I was like, what? And we're driving and cars are like wrecked everywhere, right? And dad's driving and just fucking, sipping his scotch and water. You know what I'm saying? Because back in those eras, that was all right. Nobody judged people for that. So he's just driving and we're talking. And he's acting like it's not snowing. I'm watching cars wrecked everywhere. We're like the only people on the road. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, man, I ain't worried about this shit. If you worry about it, that's when people wreck. And that's when he taught me another big lesson. He said, and I taught my daughter, will quote this to this day, the problem always starts with panic, not what you think the problem is.
127%.
Right. Like,
and sometimes the problem only is the panic.
It's only the panic. That's what he said. He said, dude, the problem starts with the panic, not the problem. Because it might not be a problem, but as soon as you panic, it's a problem.
Right.
He told me, he's like, dude, these people just panicked, man. You don't get to panic about this shit. Just fucking, don't slam on the brakes. You know what I'm saying? He had like the most fucking, he was like a fucking Socrates of white trash America. He's just like fucking giving me these little jewels and just driving and sets his cup down to switch gears. Because back then, a lot of cars wasn't automatic. He'd switch gears and pick his cup back up. Be like, oh, these people are panicking, man. Fucking, it's why he wouldn't go drink on St. Patrick's Day. Be like, oh, it's fucking amateur hour, man. That's when somebody's going to get arrested or go to jail or wreck. He's like,
our dads would have been best friends. They would have been best friends. You don't even understand. Oh my God. My dad, he would only pay cash for a car. We had like 10 cars he bought for like $2,000. Like he would buy a car and we'd run it to the ground.
Yes, that was our philosophy.
Yes.
Never have a car note, own the car, drive until it can't drive no more.
Yes.
My wife bought me a truck for my birthday because my other truck had 250,000 miles on it. And I was like, nope, not getting rid of it. She was like, what?
That was my dad's whole approach. He's like, we're going to get all 10 piece of shit cars and I still won't spend the money I would have spent on a brand new car and we'll still make it. But in the interim, his piece of shit car would break down or my piece of shit car would break down. So we'd have to borrow each other's car to get through. Right. And so when he'd take my car and I'd get it back, when I'd come to the stop sign, a whole 6-pack of empty beer bottles would come underneath the driver's seat and like hit my heel, like clink, 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 clink. And I'm like, Dad, could you at least empty your beers before you give me my car back?
Let me know there's an open container in the car.
Let me know there's an empty case underneath my driver's seat. Oh God, our dads would have loved each other. Oh,
my dad would throw beer cans out the window, and he would have the dynamics of it timed just right that they would fly into the bed of the pickup truck, right? So he would just be like, and he'd throw it, and I think he's throwing it out, and I'd watch it go whipping right into the pile of them in the back of the bed of the truck. So one night, my brother's taking me to play football in our dad's truck, and we get pulled over, and the cop's walking up, and he stops at the back of the truck, which has like 85, maybe 100 empty cans of beer in it. He walks up and goes, "Sir, you've been drinking?" He said, "Man, dude, I've been coaching little league football all night, dude. I'm fucking 22 years old. This is my 12-year-old brother." He was like, "There's just a lot of empty beer cans in the back." He said, "Yeah, man, our dad recycles." And he would just throw them out the window and clink them. And when he got a truck bed full of them, he'd drop them off the recycling place.
Dead Dads Club. Oh my God, we're both in the Dead Dads Club. What's one of the things you remember most fondly about your dad?
Probably his laugh and his ability to tell stories. Like he would tell stories like me, but he didn't talk as much as I did. But he was real right. But he said a lot with a little. And that's something I'm trying to master as I get older. But he had this uncanny way of, creating a environment around him, like just casual, just sitting at the bar. And I would come my brother said it at his funeral. He said he got so popular at the Tin Roof that my brother said he felt like he'd have to make an appointment with him. Because he would like come in and dad would be in his little corner of the bar just holding court, like the whole staff and like 5 other locals, and he's just sitting there just hanging out, just sipping his scotch and water, vodka and whatever. I don't know about your dad, but my dad constantly changed what he drank. He wasn't like, I'm like a tequila all the way guy.
I am.
Yeah. And I used to be a whiskey all the way guy, but my dad is like, fuck, it's cold enough outside to drink scotch. It's warm enough outside to drink vodka. It was like a weather thing for him. You know what I'm saying? And he'd just be sitting there holding court. What's your fondness with your dad?
I think honestly, I would have to say his laugh too, because he laughed so robustly. He was just a really affable man. Everyone loved him. One of my favorite things about him was he spoke to every human being like they mattered, and not in like a pastoral way, in a weird way. It was more, he just acknowledged people.
Right.
And he tried to connect with every single person that he crossed paths with. Mm. And just from like the grocery store, standing in line, he would strike up a conversation with the cashier, the bag kid on the way to the car, maybe somebody in the parking lot. And it wasn't like this needy thing. It just was a natural, just personality thing that he had with people. And he had a way of making people feel comfortable too. Yep. And I do that. And I don't even realize that I do that, but I do that where I talk to everybody.
No, I'm the same way. My wife calls me out on it. She says I'm just like him. That our dads would have been best friends. He was the same way. He would just real weird. Casual, not in like a creepy old man way, but just in a really kind of cool, casual, just start talking, just he had a second, he'd start a conversation. It'd be some.
Yes.
He had a real knack for being able to start a conversation out of nothing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like he could
read. That was my dad.
Really well. Yeah. He could just read people really well and be like, okay, this is, and I'm like, my wife's so funny because she's like, and I'm like, hey, everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we're so funny together because she's like, oh my God. She won't go to grocery stores with me or anything. She's like,
I could be your adoptive sister when I come to Nashville. I'll do the grocery shopping with you. She can have a break.
She's like, dude, I'm not going in here and spending 2 hours to get what it took me 20 minutes.
What would you say to your fans listening who are dealing with their own demons and maybe, they don't have an outlet like music? What would you say for them to do to start to deal and process with those emotions?
Don't be afraid to get help. Don't be afraid to talk to somebody. I don't care how it makes you feel or what you think people's motive is in that. Do not be afraid to reach out to somebody. Find a support system. If you're battling addiction, 9 out of 10 times you're not going to be able to do it by yourself. Seek help. They do have people that are willing to help. They have programs for everybody, rich, poor, sad, glad, mad, happy. They'll find a way to help you, man. And what I can assure people who are dealing with certain kind of demons is it does not get better. You know, it doesn't, it's not one of those things that you're mentally wrong to think, oh man, this phase will go away. It's if you're in deep, dude, it's not a phase, man. You need help. You know, and that's what I tell people. It took me a long time to be open to help like anybody, like to be able to sit down with just my wife even. You know, this week I've had a really rough week. Just for no reason. Had a great album release, charted. I mean, just had everything.
Charted top 10.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
With some really heavy hitters.
Yep, with no label. Fucking only one in that top 10 that doesn't have a label.
Congratulations. I saw that. I was like, woo!
Yeah, that's big for the underdog, baby.
Yes.
But, you know, a week that I should be just really happy, you know, and I just like was just been in the dumps all week, you know, and the wife's just really, you know, I just have somebody I can talk to about it. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, find somebody you can go to. Don't count on the internet to help you every time. They'll let you down. You know what I'm saying? That's what I tell people.
Absolutely.
Like when I posted about it, I was like, no, call somebody. Pick up post about it too if that makes you feel better. Because I post about it when I'm feeling fucked up. But call somebody. Don't count on the internet. They'll let you down.
And what about your relationship with love now? Because I think artists like us, we navigate that on a fine wire because we've obviously endured a lot and have gone through a lot and seen our parents go through a lot. How do you keep yourself connected to love?
Well, I'm just like a loving dude by nature. It goes back to the striking up a conversation with everybody. Like, I just love people, like as a general trait. Like, I just have a lot of love for people, a lot of empathy above everything. You know, I'm very empathic. And I think that's what I grounded in. And I grounded in family.
Mm-hmm.
The most important thing for me is like you're with your sister now, right? You know, out there, we're all still praying for No Pants Nance.
When you emailed that to me, I was dying. When my assistant Deb, she's like, "You gotta check out that email." You said praying for No Pants Nance.
Yeah, we're praying for No Pants Nance. You know, but it's like you keep yourself rooted in that. You know what I mean? Like, you was a flight away from being back in Syracuse. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's what's important to me. My wife will tell you that I live, you know, it's my daughter, which she raises is her daughter. It's our daughter, which shows just infinites into her character. Mm-hmm. But my niece lives with us. She helps with the daughter. You know what I'm saying? A friend of mine lives with us. A friend of hers lives with us. I have another niece that's always there. My brother comes up once a weekend. One of my brothers does. Like,
that's amazing.
I just stay rooted in. We have a no call, no knock policy with family.
Yeah, that's great.
You know, if you're family, like my family, like you don't have to call. Just come on.
I'll see you on Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, dude. Just come straight on in, dude. It's the philosophy that has kept our family tight, you know. But my mother was like that, so I took that trait from her. Still to this day, I can go knock on my mama's door at 3:00 in the morning, wake her up out of a dead sleep. She will not act like she's been in a dead sleep. She will open the door, hug me, walk straight to the kitchen table, turn the light on, light a fucking cigarette, grab a Coke, and go, "What's going on?" You know, and instead, like, not even what's going on, like, "Why are you here?" Like, "How was your day?" Like, she won't even let you feel the uncomfort of knowing you woke her up at 3 a.m. She's just like, "Yeah, whatever. You're here. I don't care what time it is. What do you want to talk about?"
I think that's beautiful. You grew up with parents that loved you, and it's a testament to who you are today and to the quality of your music, and that you've thrived during this hard time. You have Self-Medicated that came out, A Beautiful Disaster, Addiction Kills.
Oh, yeah.
And then Waylon and Willie.
Yeah, Waylon and Willie. We got another one coming. That's me and my best friend. Group albums all the time. But we got another one coming for the year.
That's so fun when you can be able to do shit with your best friend. Oh,
yeah, that's the best part.
That's the best part. And I guess the last bit of advice that you could give to our listeners and your fans as well, new fans, is how they can thrive during this time.
Stay active. You know, I think that's the most important thing, is just don't be my thing is this. I'm not afraid to swing the bat. That's one good trait I have in general. And I preach that to every up and coming artist, everybody trying to be something in life. Don't be afraid to swing the bat and don't count on immediate results. I have music artists come to me and go, man, it's not working out for me. I go, well, how many projects have you put out in the last 2 years? Well, I put out an EP. Dude, I'm going to put out 50 songs this year, dog. Like, what are you talking? Dude, I put out 37 titled mixtapes in my career, albums or mixtapes. 37 times I put the name Jelly Roll on the cover of something and tried to take it to the public, right? 31 of those times I made no money. Like zero money, like embed it all, like, treated it like a presidential campaign. Like, this is big, like I was really going for it. You know what I mean? And I tell people, man, you got to stay consistent and not be afraid to swing the fucking bat, baby.
I think that's great advice. Consistency. Whoo. That's the one.
Gary V once said that if they were giving away somebody $1 million and to somebody who could hit a home run off of a pitcher that never played baseball before, there would be a line wrapped around Yankee Stadium. And he said that people would go in and swing 10, 15 times, get tired, and look back at the people going, hurry up, let somebody else try, and not care. And they just drop the bat and let the next person come up. He said one of those people in that line would be the dude that was like, I don't care who's booing at me, who's telling me hurry. I'm going to sit here and swing till I connect with that fucking ball. That's my personality. I am going to pass out of a heat stroke right here swinging this bat before anybody talks me into letting this bat out of my hand. This is my chance to make $1 million, and I'm going to swing this motherfucker over and over and over. There's going to be dudes, boo, you're never going to do it. Move, let somebody else try. Man, fuck you. And I'm swinging again. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
I think, honestly, I needed this. You're my bright light in this, I've also had a rough week, as you know. So I appreciate you coming on and being so forthcoming and vulnerable and willing to talk about all of your stuff and be real about, things that you struggle with. Where can my people find you? What can they download?
Yeah. Listen, anywhere there's music, I'm there. Just type in Jelly Roll, space between the jelly and the roll, or you can spell it together. I think it'll still find me. I'm at Jelly Roll 615 on Instagram. I'm at Jelly Roll 615 on Twitter. Just type in Jelly Roll on YouTube. I think it's youtube.com/Jelly Roll, but you'll find me. I'm there. And I'm pretty much everywhere. I'm on TikTok. I think I'm Jelly Roll 615 on TikTok. TikTok is my favorite platform because I don't put a lot of music stuff on there. It's normally just me, like,
being goofy.
Yeah, dancing on tables and shit. But
and don't forget to go to Spotify, check out his albums. His latest album is Self-Medicated. He also has A Beautiful Disaster and Addiction Kills, as well as Waylon and Willie. I'm a huge fan, and now I'm a friend.
Yes, thank you.
You're stuck with me.
Sister, family member. Yes.
I'm going to put that open door policy to the test. I'm going to show up with no pants.
No, come on, dude. I expect it from the family you come from. So come on, dude. Just know that my wife will try to touch your butt for sure.
I will. Your wife and I will snuggle all weekend.
Yeah, my wife is a butt toucher. She chases me around the house with the claw. Just bah, bah. I'm just like, oh God.
Tell Bunny she can touch my butt.
Oh, dude, she'd be tickled pink, man. My wife is a show me your butt. She's the girl that gets drunk and gets other girls randomly at a bar to show their butthole. She's like, show me your butthole. You know what I'm saying?
Her and I are going to be best friends.
Yeah, dude, my wife is a lunatic in a good way. So yeah, dude, you're welcome anytime for real. We'd love to have you. You can join this white trash family. You're
I would love to. I have all the tattoos for it.
Yes, you blend right in.
I've got a tramp stamp. Does this help?
Yes, no, that's an automatic entry.
My ticket, my tramp stamp ticket into the white trash kingdom. Yes, oh my God, Jelly Roll, you're a freaking delight, man.
Enough about my comedy. Look at my back tattoo. It starts at my ass crack. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man.